Hey, what's up, stay-at-homies? I hope you're doing great. I apologize if things are shaky or there's a tail just randomly appearing in front of the camera. Gretchen just, decided she wanted to be a part of what was happening today. So, this week is obviously different because it's the very last week of school before the summer holiday. And so we got to enjoy a So You Think You Know video yesterday. And guess what? There's another one today. So it's actually Mrs. Mabbott's turn and my turn. So today you get to see how much you know about us. So hello, Mrs. Mabbott. How you doing?
Hello, Miss Defoe. How are you?
Oh, well, I'm doing just fine. Thank you.
I'm super excited to be answering your questions today, and I'm ready to have some fun. And to all of you EMJers, I miss you. I wish I could give you a giant hug. Clearly, I cannot, but I miss you terribly, and I wish that you all are doing well. My favorite color would have to be either turquoise, I love turquoise, or the color royal blue just brings me joy when I see it. I think it's really pretty. But colors to wear for clothing would have to be black. I think black's just easy and classic. Those are my favorite colors.
Most of you know how much I love color. So it's kind of hard to pick a favorite color because I just love color. And I love lots of different colors together at the same time. But if I have to pick one, do I have to pick one? It's been green for many years. I feel like teal might be tied, purple, yellow, pink. Oh, right, I'm supposed to pick one.
Do you really want to know this? I have been at EMJ as of this month for 15 years. I came on as a temporary contract and I took over someone's maternity leave and I haven't left since. So 15 years is how long I have been at EMJ.
So I have been teaching at EMJ almost as long as Mrs. Mabbott. Not quite. She's got me beat by just a few months. But this is the 14th year. This is the end of my 14th school year at EMJ, which is totally crazy and amazing. I did half-time kindergarten and half-time music for 9 years. Then I did 2 years of full-time kindergarten, and I've been back in music for 3. So it's crazy how the time flies.
What's your favorite candy? Yum!
My favorite candy is Coke bottles. I love Coke bottles. I can eat an entire bag by myself. Luckily, I have found out that Miss Mercier loves Coke bottles as much as I do. So we always have a stash in my desk, just in case.
We're trying to have a very serious discussion about candy right now. If you could just, thank you. My official answer to this question is all the candy. Almost all the candy. It would take less time for me to tell you about the candy that I don't like. So basically, I like most candy.
What's your favorite subject to teach?
My favorite subject to teach at school would have to be reading. I love teaching reading to younger students and watching them learn the English language and have those aha moments when they figure words out and celebrate with them. And then for the older students, I love having conversations about what they've read, making connections, having their aha moments when they figure out something's happening in a story or they make really cool inferences about what they've read. This year was probably the most fun novel reading I've ever experienced. Room 18 was cheering and shouting and fist pumping in the air, and there was a lot of yelling and just reaction over the book that we were reading. So that was a ton of fun. So yeah, I would say my favorite subject to teach is reading.
It would be really weird if I didn't say music. Don't you think? It's for sure music. But when I was a kindergarten teacher, I really loved teaching a lot of subjects as well. Reading and pre-reading skills was always fun. Art was always fun. Math, science, phys ed, everything. Everything is fun. But obviously, I love music and I love teaching music. So,
where are you from?
I was born in Jasper, Alberta. So even though I was born in Jasper, I didn't live there for very long. I actually came to Calgary shortly after I was born. So I was born in the beautiful mountains of Jasper, but I have grown up and been raised in Calgary and love it. Absolutely love it. I actually had the opportunity to live on Vancouver Island in BC, and I came running home. I love it. I absolutely love Alberta.
so I was born in Calgary, but I actually grew up in Saskatoon. I have no memory of living in Calgary when I was a baby. We moved when I was quite small. And I spent my whole childhood all the way through my university years in Saskatoon. And then I moved out here after I finished school and I started teaching.
What's your favorite book?
My favorite book is Love You Forever by Robert Munsch. It has been my favorite book since I can remember. I remember my mom reading it to me and it being super special because it showed me how much you can love a person, and it grew exponentially more meaningful to me the older I got. To be an adult and love my parents as much as they love me, and then to have my own kids. It then took on a new meaning. So, Love You Forever by Robert Munsch is my hands down favorite. Makes me cry every time I read it.
Favorite book? Holy moly. Why did I make these questions so hard? Seriously, what was I thinking? Can I answer in like top 10? How long can this video be? 3 hours later. I do have a book that I loved so much when I was little. It's called Panda Bear Goes Visiting. I read it so much when I was little, and it would make me cry. So I would read this probably every night, I would say. And it was so sad. It was just so sad. And I remember once my mom asked me, why do you keep reading it if it makes you feel so sad? Because it wasn't just like a tear, it was like that kind of crying, like every night. And I don't have a good answer for that. And actually, yesterday I was talking to a friend. I just finished reading a sad book. So sad. And my friend said, oh, I never read sad books by choice. And I said, I do. Even though it makes me feel sadness, there's something really beautiful about it. And feeling sad it's not a bad emotion. It's just one of the emotions that we experience as human beings. And so I think that's just a carryover from my love of this book when I was small. Sometimes I'm reading fiction. Often it's fiction, so I like stories. But I like reading nonfiction. I like learning about new things. I like reading poetry. I just love reading. I just love reading.
What is a hobby you enjoy in your spare time?
I don't really have a hobby. Is that weird?
Yes.
There are things that I do that I love, but the only thing I do on a consistent basis that is just for me is I work out every morning. So I get up super early in the morning. I'll usually put on a pot of coffee, and right now I check my emails and I check student work, and then after I drink my cup of coffee, I head downstairs and I do a workout. I can feel the difference when I don't work out, but yeah, it's just something that I absolutely need to start my day. I don't know if that's a hobby. Is that a hobby? I don't know. I love to read. I have 4 books on the go right now. I don't know if that's a hobby. Yeah. I don't have time for a hobby.
I have so many hobbies. Like, how much time is a reasonable amount of time to take answering these questions? Who came up with these? Playing music is a hobby. So I love to just sit down and I call it noodling around on the piano. So that's when I'm not playing anything in particular. I'm just kind of fooling around and seeing what happens. Um, I love art, painting, drawing, knitting, cross stitching. And actually, last week I built myself a big, gigantic craft table, which I'm really excited about. So I can just make a mess. And if I spill paint, it doesn't matter because it's my craft table. And it's pretty exciting. I also really enjoy getting outside. I like going for walks and hikes and bike rides. And
What kind of music do you like?
I love all music. Let's start with that. So, music is a passion of mine. There's rarely any music I don't like. I love all music. If I'm driving in my car, there are two main types of music that we listen to. One of the types is country. I love country music. I love the stories they tell, and we have a few favorite artists. Just makes you feel good, gives you good vibes. But my hands down favorite type of music is like electronic music. It's also known as rave music. So it's that music that's like hard pounding, gets your heart pumping. You have to dance while you're listening to it. So that would be my hands down favorite. And thankfully, there was an artist named Avicii, who unfortunately is no longer with us. He actually combined country and electronic music, and it's some of my favorite. So, yeah, I love to dance. Anything I can dance to, it's my jam.
obviously, music is really important to me. It's a huge part of my life, not just at school with you guys, but just in every aspect of my life. As you probably know, I'm a recording artist. I'm currently back in the studio working on my third project. So music is kind of a big deal to me. When I think about the music that I love to listen to the most, I actually don't think of a particular style. There's a few styles of music that I'm more drawn to than others. I really love the blues. I love soul music. I love rock and roll, folk, singer-songwriter, that kind of thing. But what I've learned is that it's actually the emotion in the song, both in the lyrics and also in the music itself, just conveyed by the instruments and the way they're played, by the singer's voice. It's actually the emotion that really, thank you for that. It's the emotion of the song that I connect to the most. So it's not even about a specific style. But as I said, there are styles that I'm more drawn to.
What is your
ultimate recess snack?
Cheese. Oh, I love cheese. We have a special recipe at EMJ that was brought to us by Miss Summers many years ago, and it's a melty cheese with a little bit of hot salsa in it, and a couple other ingredients. Anyways, I pour it over nachos, and I could eat it all day long. But I love cheese. I love all types of cheese: hard, soft, white, orange. I even love the yucky cheeses like blue cheese. Love blue cheese. So cheese would be my ultimate snack. However, I will say, if you're bringing the snack, I will eat it. I am appreciative of any snack in the staff room. So yeah, there it is. Cheese or anything anyone feeds me.
So I really like snacks a lot. The cheese dip that everybody's been talking about is definitely up there. I also like anything homemade, anything baked. Like if somebody bakes cookies and brings them in and puts them in the staff room for teachers, that's a good day. When there's not a snack in the staff room, it's usually not that exciting. Usually at recess, I would drink a smoothie. And it's not really because it's like, ooh, my ultimate recess snack. It's more like I'm trying to be healthy-ish and not get scurvy. And my potato chip and cheeseburger diet probably isn't providing all the essential nutrients that my body needs. So maybe if I drink a smoothie, I can tell myself that I'm sort of being a little bit healthy-ish. Just keeping it real. Just keeping it real, people.
Do you have any pets? Oh, I love pets.
So you would think I would have pets. We don't. We travel too much. So we do have one pet though, and it's my daughter Ella's fish. His name is Bubbles. He has survived more things than I can share. So Bubbles is the same type of fish as Mr. Business. However, he is much skinnier and he's not as pretty. He's a little rough around the edges, but he has been with us for quite some time. So that is our only pet. However, if I could get a pet, I would get a dog. We have had dogs in the past, and I have to tell you this story. Miss Defoe, you know this story. When I met Miss Defoe 15 years ago, I was in the midst of moving in September, October, and she offered to come and help us move, which was very generous considering I barely knew her, and I didn't know she had a fear of dogs. Well, when we move, all of our friends come over and our family comes over. And so we had, at the time we owned a Japanese Akita, which is a very large dog. They were actually bred to fight bears, but they are beautiful. Honda was amazing. We also had a golden retriever. We had a Staffordshire Terrier. We had a terrier with us. So she was surrounded by all these big dogs, and she did brilliantly during our move. So, Miss Defoe, if you remember that day, I don't think you were very happy with me. But you started loving dogs that day, right? That was because of us.
Like, as if I could forget. Traumatized me for life. I'm just kidding. It didn't traumatize me. It's true, though. I was terrified of dogs. All of my childhood, I was terrified of dogs, and even cats, really. Basically, anything that moved that wasn't human, I was afraid of it. And I kind of slowly overcame my fear. But at that point, in my early 20s, I was still pretty nervous around, especially big dogs. And that day was, I don't think that was the day I started loving dogs, but it was a turning point for sure. And then when you got Gus, like whenever that was, Mrs. Mabbott had another wonderful, humongous dog named Gus that I met when he was just a little puppy, and we just bonded. Do you remember? She remembers. Now I love dogs. Obviously, I love cats. I love dogs too. So yes, Mrs. Mabbott, I will say that you and your herd of wild dogs was instrumental in me overcoming my fear. So thank you. Pets? Nah. No, I don't have any pets. See, they don't think that they're pets. They think that they are queens and that I am their, servant. Their lowly servant that scoops their poop out of a box. This is real life, kids. It's real life. Cat ownership. What can I say? Here is Her Royal Highness now. Queen Gretchen. Gretchen. Yes, of course. Of course she would show that side to the camera. She's not the most appropriate cat. All these other teachers have their nice, well-behaved cats. And then we get this.
I hope you enjoyed the video. These are my answers to these fabulous questions. I miss you, EMJ. I'm thinking about you daily, and I hope you are safe and healthy. Mwah!
That was hard. It's so much easier when everyone else sends me their answers and I just edit and put it all together. It was fun though. Mrs. Mabbott, I think I even learned some new things about you that I didn't know before. So there you go. Well, that's it for all of us, all two of us. Sorry for talking and talking and talking forever and ever. I'm not that sorry. Until next time, be brave, be kind, and wash your hands.